As a student, you will want to know how to get 5 out of 5 in those tricky exam questions. So let's take a look, because it really isn't that difficult. It's about exam technique. So with the 5-mark questions, you will be asked to explain 2 points, 2 beliefs, 2 reasons, 2 ways something happens. Importantly, for the 5-mark response, unlike the 4-mark response, you also need to give an additional point, and that is you need to refer to some religious source. You might be given a specific religion to refer to, one that you're studying. It might ask for a Christian view. It might just say religious view. So reading the question is really important. This is my advice on how to structure your response to get 5 out of 5. You give 1 point and explain it. Explain what that point means, which is why you are including it. Then give a 2nd point, and in the same way that you explained the first one and its relevance to the question, do the same for the 2nd point. And finally, put a 3rd sentence that is your reference to scripture and how it refers to the question. Doing that, 5 out of 5 every time. That's simple. Now, you could be sitting there thinking, well, I'm sure I do that, but I'm not getting 5 out of 5. So let's have a look at some common errors and where you might be going wrong. Commonly, students give valid points and make references to religious views, but they don't explain the points. You cannot get marks if you do not explain them. Therefore, 3 out of 5 for this scenario. Next common error is we get a lovely valid first point with a beautiful explanation. The 2nd point, however, isn't valid. They haven't read the question properly. It could be that it's asked for a contrasting point. It could be that it's asked for a specific religious point and you haven't done that. You're not going to get marks for it. Give a reference to religion, great. 3 out of 5, you're still missing 2 marks. The 3rd scenario then is where students repeat themselves. So we get a lovely first point and a really good explanation, and then when they're panicking, they give a 2nd point, which is the first point again, just worded differently. Good try, guys, but you're not going to get marks. Include your scripture, great. Still only 3 out of 5. I would say this is the one that I see happen most commonly, where a student gives a point and then for one of those points, the explanation includes the example from religion, the religious teaching, the reference to scripture, and that is great. However, you can only get a mark for either an explanation or a reference to religious scripture or teachings. So you write your response, you think that you gave that reference, because technically you did, but you can't get 2 marks for doing one thing. So you need to keep your explanations and your religious scripture or references as separate points in order to ensure you pick up the 5th and final mark here. 4 out of 5 for doing this. Let's have a look at an example then. This is taken from the theme Religion, Peace and Conflict, and the question is quite simple. Explain 2 religious beliefs about helping victims of war, and as we know, we need to refer to sacred writings or another source of religious belief and teaching in the answer. This is the first point that the student has made. This is how they have explained their point. Being given a first point from Christianity, they give their second point from a Buddhist perspective. And they go on to explain that well. Finally, they include a separate religious link. They have chosen to link this in with the Buddhist idea. They have given a quotation. You do not need to give precise word-for-word quotations from any religious text or teachings. This student has done that, but you can just paraphrase or get the general idea across, and that will still gain you the mark. There you go, simple as that. Keep it structured so that you ensure you are giving 2 points. Both of the points are explained, that you have read the question carefully to ensure that you're answering it correctly, and that your religious reference is a separate point, not to be confused with one of your earlier explanations. And by doing that, you can be guaranteed to be getting 5 out of 5 every time.